He chanced a quick glance over his shoulder at the hazy tangle of dark woods beyond the employee parking lots, past Colonial Farm Road. Mujahid would surely be hidden there, watching from the shadows, ready to kill him if he backed out before the job was done. There was no need. Timmins found himself looking forward to the end. He'd waited, it seemed, so very long. He slung a canvas messenger bag over his shoulder and began the soggy trudge across the parking lot toward the main entrance of the original headquarters building, OHB to CIA staff. Dozens of other early arrivals slogged silently along with him, umbrellas, book bags, and wilted newspapers held above their heads against the incessant hiss of rain. Timmins studied them with his peripheral vision, wondering which ones would be alive to walk back to their cars at the end of the day. The gathering herd of employees slowed and bunched at the bottleneck of security screening aisles they often called the cattle chutes. Timmins swiped his ID card and gave what he hoped was an easy smile to the black-uniformed guard who stood at parade rest, eyeing the incoming tide of workers. CIA analysts were not allowed to bring weapons into the building, and there was the outside chance the officer would search his messenger bag. It didn't matter. The items Timmins would need for his mission were already inside, waiting. On the elevator, he had to force himself to stop tapping his foot. He paused at his cubicle at the central Asian desk long enough to log on to the computer. He stood, stooping in front of the keyboard, the empty canvas messenger bag still draped over his shoulder. No emails. That was good. Everything was still moving according to plan. He looked at his watch. 7:24. Alex Gerard was waiting inside the supply closet off the back of the mailroom. Everyone called it a closet, but in reality it was a 10-by-8 room packed with reams of computer paper, toner, and everything else one might need to run an office. "Are you excited, brother?" The redhead leaned against a stack of paper boxes, tapping an unsharpened yellow pencil against a cardboard lid. Gerard's birth name was Yazad Kabuli. He'd been with Timmins from the beginning, since they were filthy, starving boys. "Of course I'm excited," Timmins said. "Who wouldn't be? Have you got them?" He tried to keep his hands from trembling. At this early hour, everyone who was at work would be settling in at their desks or making their way down to the food court for coffee. Even so, Timmins made sure to pull the door shut behind him. "I do indeed." Gerard nodded smugly. He was 6 inches shorter than Timmins and 2 years younger, but he always acted superior. He insisted on being the one who dealt with the go-between. He had to be the one who distributed the weapons. "We have over 100 rounds each," Gerard continued, his face turning passive, thoughtful. "I suppose that will be enough." He took a shiny blue-black pistol from his own messenger bag, racked the slide so it locked open, and pushed it toward Timmins. The supply room door yawned open with a sickening creak at the same moment Timmins's fingers closed around the butt of the weapon. Both men looked up, shoulders slumped, eyes shining like rats caught in a bright light. "Hey, Seth." It was Ginger Durham, the IT specialist responsible for the computer network in their department. Her jet-black hair was braided into cornrows and festooned with gold extenders and colorful beads. Timmins had been on several dates with her, the last 4 of which had ended up at her apartment. He found her ebony skin and easy laughter a pleasant distraction. She smiled, showing her perfect teeth. "What are you guys up to?" Her eyes fell on the gun at the same moment the door swung shut behind her. She froze. Gerard, who was closer, lunged forward, slamming his palm over her mouth as he drove her against the door with the point of his shoulder. He used his free hand to punch her hard in the stomach, knocking the wind out of her. "Grab her legs," he hissed. Timmins stuffed the handgun in his waistband and took the terrified girl around her thighs like a football player on a low tackle. She had the muscular legs of a sprinter, and her stiletto heels could have done some real damage had she fought back. Amazingly, she allowed the men to lower her to the floor without a struggle. Gerard lay across her chest, pinning her arms with his body, his hand still across her mouth. Her hair spread out on the tile around her face like a beaded fan. "I could use some help here," Gerard grunted. Timmins released the girl's legs and maneuvered himself higher so he could trade places with Gerard and straddle her belly, pinning her arms with both hands. He could smell the familiar, breezy scent of hyacinth perfume.